Hello, Mark here. Part 3 of The Dragon and the Crow. I thought I would finish this off. I think it might make a nice card for people that like dragons, or indeed crows. It's been quite good fun to do, and like I said, it was basically done to show you how I use watercolor to do the eyes. That's basically why I chose the two sort of basically different eyes to do. Just sort of filling in these leaves to give it a bit more dimensions. I would probably, if time permitted, do a bit more, but I'm a bit busy at the moment, working on another 2 commissions and several other projects that are in the pipeline, trying a few new things as we come out of this lockdown. I don't know when the markets that I do start up again, because predominantly they're indoors, so we'll have to wait and see. And the chaos that's happening on the south coast, I'm not sure we really want to get involved in anything like that at the moment. I don't know. I haven't heard when the Lyme Regis markets are going to start up again, so we'll have to wait and see on that one as well. So it's all a bit of a, well, I can't say worry, because there's no point worrying about it. What will be, will be. But some of the scenes at the weekend in the southwest weren't very encouraging. Predominantly people from outside, and sadly they just don't seem to respect the countryside whatsoever. Several serious fires, and the amount of litter that was just thrown around is unbelievable, really. I'm not quite sure who these people think clears up after they've gone, but I dread to think what their own homes look like. But there we go. That's the great British public for you, that Boris is trusted with our lives. Still, never mind. I have to hope for the best. Anyway, back to the crows. So I'm using watercolor wash, really to save time to fill in the bulk of the background. And I'm actually moving, as you can see, the page around quite a bit to do this. I wouldn't normally do that, but it just saves time. And really, if it's easier to do, then I will do it, because that's what it's all about. Really making your life a little bit easier. Now, I'm going to put some white highlights in this later. I would probably spend an awful lot more time, and I still might actually, even when I've actually sort of finished this video, just to sort of, for demonstration purposes, spend a bit more time on this painting, because that's the nice thing about it. You can tweak away to your heart's content. It's just a question of knowing when to stop, really, because like I said previously, you can overcook a painting if you're not careful. But I hope you've been enjoying the weather whilst being sensible. It's been beautiful here. If you're in I don't know what it's like where you are. I know there's some pretty bad things happening in the world at the moment, so it depends where you are, I should imagine. But the news is not very encouraging. So we can lose ourselves in some drawing. I've been out in the garden, sitting for a little bit, and my partner Sally's been working very hard, getting the ponds up together again. We have our stream running again, which is only a man-made stream, I know, but it's a nice water feature and the animals seem to like it. The birds attracts quite a bit of wildlife. We've quite a lot of newts in the ponds this year. Haven't seen so many frogs. I dare say they're there. They were certainly there earlier in the year for their spawning, but once they've done that, they tend to leave the ponds and just find sort of nice, damp, dark places in the hedgerows to look for bugs to eat. Because every now and again, when Sally's out doing a bit of weeding, you'll hear her scream, because she's not a big fan of the frogs and the toads and the newts. So now you can see I'm using a white rollerball pen to do these highlights. Now they don't look quite right now, but I should go over it again with black. This is a Uniball pen I'm using. I think there's probably various white ballpoint pens you can get. I've yet to find a good white felt tip. They tend to dry out pretty quickly. This one, these rollerballs, when you're actually using them on paint and watercolour pencils, they tend to clog up, so you have to sort of keep I tend to use a piece of cardboard, as you can see, just to scribble on that again to get them running again. But see, that is just enough of the white showing through to give the idea. I mean, like I said, I would probably spend more time on this to highlight those feathers a bit more, but it's all about speed, time when you're doing these videos, because like I said, the main thing I wanted to show you was the eyes, and I probably do another sort of video at some point just with that in mind. I wasn't going to do any teaching videos, but I think I might do one or two, just because people have been asking me how I do certain things to get certain effects. So it's no great secret, I just pass it on to you. But that's what art is all about, helping one another. I mean, you'll discover things from different artists. I do. I mean, like I've said before, I tend to pinch the best that I think from other people, and I know that they do the same to me. And the reason I know that is because I've actually seen some other people's work that actually pretty much incorporates some of the things I do, which is fine. You've got no airs and graces about anything like that. Unfortunately, if you're upset about that sort of thing, then probably the internet is not the best place to post your work. because quite a few people have access to it. Now these flowers are the flowers of the deadly nightshade, which is the best to leave alone really in the wild, but it's quite a nice plant to draw, and don't see it so much these days around and about. When I was a child, it used to grow in our garden, but then we were told not to touch it, and certainly not to eat it, so consequently we didn't. I'm not so sure youngsters of the day tend to obey those sorts of things quite the same way. But the town I live in was more or less, when I grew up, was like living in the countryside. It's got a lot bigger now and expanded, and where I live, which was really in the countryside, is now pretty much built up with housing estates, which I have to admit hasn't really made life any better for people, I don't think. But what can you do? People have to live somewhere. As long as they leave me alone, I'm fine with it. And I try and leave them alone best I can. No, when I grew up, there were fields just down the road with cows in, and you don't tend to see cows in fields as much these days. Certainly not around here. And of course, there are fields that they've just started to build on. Up until a year or so ago, I had sheep in. But that's something that's gone. It's a shame, really. Anyway,